In the frozen darkness beyond Neptune, where the sun is nothing more than a distant star, a machine built by human hands in 1977 has been drifting alone for nearly half a century. Voyager 2 was never meant to come home. Its mission was simple: witness the outer planets, then disappear into the endless black, carrying humanity's message to whoever or whatever might be listening. For decades, it did exactly that, sending back data, radiation readings, plasma measurements. Routine, predictable. Until last month. That's when everything changed. The transmission that came back wasn't routine, it wasn't predictable, and as sure as hell wasn't something anyone at NASA was prepared for, because buried inside the static was something that shouldn't exist. A pattern. Deliberate, intelligent, and absolutely not from Earth. When the Deep Space Network first picked up the anomaly, engineers thought it was interference, solar flares, equipment degradation, anything but what it actually was. But when they ran the data through AI-enhanced filtering systems, the truth became undeniable. There, hidden in the noise, was a repeating pulse, 11.2 seconds, exact, unnatural, like a heartbeat echoing from the void. This wasn't cosmic radiation, this wasn't a glitch, this was a clock. And clocks don't appear in deep space by accident. They're built, they're programmed, they're sent. The pulse carried a spectral signature scientists had never seen before: inverted hydrogen resonance. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, but this was different, twisted, reversed, as if someone or something had taken the fundamental building blocks of reality and rewritten the rules. Then came the part that made everyone at Mission Control go quiet. The source of the pulse wasn't stationary, it was moving, and it wasn't drifting aimlessly through space like a comet or asteroid. It was tracking Voyager 2, following it, adjusting its speed in response to the spacecraft's faint transmissions. When analysts tried to map its trajectory using standard physics, every model failed. This thing wasn't obeying the laws of gravity. It was accelerating and decelerating in short, controlled bursts, correcting its course like it was hunting. And the most terrifying detail, it wasn't broadcasting toward Earth. It was reflecting Voyager's own signal back into the void, like a mirror or a test, to see if we were paying attention. What happened next sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Linguists and signal theorists were quietly brought into the investigation, because inside the anomalous transmission, they found something impossible: binary segments that didn't match Voyager 2's command protocols. When visualized, these segments formed shapes, spirals, fractals, geometric patterns that looked eerily familiar. And then someone made the connection. These weren't random. They resembled ancient symbols found here on Earth: Sumerian cuneiform, Nazca glyphs, patterns that predate modern civilization by thousands of years, encoded in electromagnetic waveforms coming from beyond our solar system. The implication was staggering. Either this was the most elaborate cosmic coincidence in history, or something out there was using a visual language that had once existed on our planet. And the deeper the scientists looked, the clearer it became. This wasn't just a signal, it was a message, a test to see if humanity had evolved enough to recognize it. And we had just passed. At Caltech, a young physicist ran the transmission through a deep neural network designed to simulate cryptographic responses. What came back stopped her cold. The AI didn't just translate the signal, it predicted what would come next. It anticipated the pattern. That should be impossible unless the signal itself was recursive, a loop designed to provoke interaction, like a riddle that only reveals itself when you engage with it. At the exact same moment, billions of miles away, Voyager 1 registered a magnetic fluctuation identical to the pulse Voyager 2 had detected. Two spacecraft, two anomalies, separated by unimaginable distance, but perfectly synchronized. This wasn't random, this was coordinated. And that's when the real question emerged. Not what is out there, but why now? Why, after almost 50 years of silence, would something suddenly respond, right as humanity reached the technological threshold to decode it? Then Voyager 2 went dark, completely silent. Ground control assumed hardware failure. The spacecraft is ancient by modern standards. But then, identical blackouts hit deep space network stations in California, Spain, and Australia, all at the exact same timestamp, 1437 UTC. The odds of a simultaneous global failure? Astronomically low. This wasn't equipment malfunction. Something had severed the connection, surgically, deliberately, with timing that matched the very pulse pattern Voyager had been detecting. But it didn't stop there. 5 minutes after the blackout, a narrow-band radio wave slammed into Earth from the same region of space. Its strength matched signals we've only observed from neutron stars. Except this wasn't coming from a neutron star. It was coming from near Voyager 2, and it was getting closer. In a classified briefing later leaked from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, analysts revealed something that made blood run cold. A foreign object had begun altering its trajectory in response to Earth's deep space pings. Every time we sent a command toward Voyager 2, this thing adjusted its path, slightly, precisely. It wasn't just hearing us, it was studying how we communicate, learning our methods, our frequencies, our patterns. And its trajectory was no longer random. It was on an intercept course, not toward Voyager 2, toward our solar system. They gave it a code name, Echo Lantern, because it mimicked light and shadow, communication and silence, turning our own technology into a beacon. And the horrifying realization set in. Voyager 2's signal had become a breadcrumb trail, not for us to find something, but for something to find us. As the object moved closer to the heliopause, the boundary where solar wind meets interstellar space, something unprecedented happened. The solar wind itself bent. NASA's IBEX probe and ESA's solar orbiter recorded a complete collapse of solar wind flow along a narrow corridor stretching toward Voyager 2. In decades of heliophysics data, nothing like this had ever been observed. Solar wind doesn't just stop unless interrupted by something massive, a planetary magnetosphere or an unknown field emitter. This corridor, now called the solar veil, remained open for 3 hours before collapsing. And inside it, no radiation, no particles, just silence, as if something had opened the door, not through space, but through the physics that govern it. Scientists are now calling it the first evidence of intentional manipulation of solar particles, and the only candidate capable of triggering it was still tracking near Voyager 2. Then Voyager 2 spoke again, but this time the data was encrypted. That's impossible. Voyager doesn't have encryption protocols. It was built in the 70s with technology less advanced than a modern calculator. Yet when Mission Control decoded the stream, they found something that made their hands shake. A rearranged version of the Golden Record, the message we sent into space in 1977, our greeting to the cosmos. Except this version was different. Human voices played backward. Music altered in pitch. The star charts on the record cover reflected in reverse. Some of the coordinates no longer pointed to Earth. They pointed to interstellar voids where no stars exist, where nothing should be. It was as if Voyager had been hijacked, its message repurposed. Not to say, here we are, but to say, we're listening now, and we know where you are. When engineers reviewed Voyager 2's systems after the Golden Record anomaly, they made a discovery that defied everything they knew about the spacecraft. Several command subroutines in the onboard computer had been rewritten. Not corrupted, not glitched, rewritten. Lines of code that hadn't changed in 46 years had suddenly updated themselves with syntax Voyager's processors weren't designed to interpret. Somehow, the craft was executing instructions outside its original programming. Instructions that didn't come from Earth, didn't come from NASA, didn't come from any ground-based transmission. They were internal, as if Voyager had received a signal from somewhere else and obeyed without question. The most terrifying part? The rewritten subroutines pointed to one specific function: long-range transmission broadcast. But not toward Earth, toward deep interstellar space. Meaning Voyager wasn't just listening anymore, it was responding, and we have no idea what it said. Within hours, observatories in Japan, Chile, and Greenland were ordered to redirect their instruments without public explanation. Their targets? 3 specific sectors of deep space aligned with Voyager 2's transmission vector. Simultaneously, encrypted communications leaked from a European defense agency referenced something called the Wake Protocol. This protocol, long dismissed as Cold War fiction, is a multi-agency directive reserved only for confirmed contact scenarios, particularly those involving automated probes activating external responses. It includes lockdowns of classified satellites, suspension of certain frequency ranges, and the rerouting of telescope arrays toward the outer reaches of the Kuiper Belt. Why? Because once a machine sends a message without human approval, we're no longer in control of first contact, and the world's powers have to assume the worst, that something out there might answer in a way we're not ready to receive. Then came the temporal echo. For exactly 41 minutes, satellites and ground stations experienced a signal loop. Data packets repeated themselves in perfect unison, as if the same moment in telemetry was being played over and over. But these weren't archives, these were live feeds, distorted in a way that made it seem as though time itself had glitched. During this period, Voyager 2's data, solar observations, and telemetry from unrelated probes all looped continuously. Some physicists believe this wasn't a coincidence, but a controlled ripple, potentially caused by a localized space-time distortion near Voyager's location. If true, it means whatever is interacting with the probe isn't just intelligent. It may be capable of manipulating time fields, bending causality, projecting information across dimensions. A group of astrophysicists involved in the analysis gave this incident a name from ancient mythology: Chronos Bloom. Because if time was touched, the rules of our universe just changed. 2 days later, it happened. Ground stations in Norway and New Zealand, both remote low-noise monitoring facilities, picked up a signal originating from interstellar space. This wasn't a reflection. This wasn't bounced from the ionosphere. The signal entered Earth's atmosphere directly, targeted with laser-like precision, narrow band, high frequency, composed of subharmonics matching the Voyager anomaly. And then came the part that no one saw coming. It embedded itself into terrestrial systems, piggybacking onto oceanic sensors, weather satellites, communication buoys across the Pacific. It didn't just pass through, it stayed. Now this signal is part of our global data infrastructure, woven into the systems that run our world. No one knows what it's doing. No one knows what triggered it. But one thing is absolutely clear. Whatever Voyager 2 woke up, whatever it contacted, it found a way to reach us. While the world remained fixated on Voyager 2, a team of independent astronomers in Brazil uncovered something no one expected. Scanning old infrared sky maps from the 90s, they detected a faint, cold object on a trajectory mirroring Voyager 2. But it had never been cataloged, never appeared on any official records. It was slow, dark, silent. Further analysis revealed this object had been present in deep space since at least 1981, trailing Voyager 2 from a distance, never making itself known. They named it Echo Node 0, and what made it truly disturbing was its path. It wasn't moving randomly. It followed a logarithmic spiral, a shape found in natural laws, in seashells, galaxies, the golden ratio. The implication? Whatever Echo Node 0 is, it's been traveling with intent, using mathematics not just as a tool of movement, but as a language of camouflage. The James Webb Space Telescope was then redirected without public announcement to observe the space between Voyager 2 and the incoming signal coordinates. What it found wasn't a single object, but a field of reflective masses, barely visible in the infrared spectrum, moving together, not orbiting, drifting as a cluster, like a school of fish responding to unseen currents. Scientists labeled it a coordinated formation, a pattern never observed in natural objects at that scale or distance. Webb's spectroscopic data revealed something even more shocking. The chemical signatures included exotic alloys, elements with half-lives so unstable they should have disintegrated eons ago. Yet here they were, stable, clustered, reflecting our signals back at us. The narrative had changed. This wasn't about Voyager 2 being observed, it was about Earth being studied, our machines becoming bait. Soon after, cybersecurity agencies worldwide reported a disturbing pattern. Hidden in the backbone of global data traffic, among terabytes of daily noise, they found low-frequency packets that didn't belong to any known protocol. These packets weren't malicious, they didn't trigger alerts, but they persisted, repeating across cloud servers, underwater cables, government satellite feeds. MIT traced the root signature, the same harmonic profile as Voyager 2's last burst. A space transmission detected billions of kilometers away had entered Earth's digital nervous system, not as a virus, but as an embedded signal, like a song with no chorus, always playing in the background, slowly rewriting how machines talk to one another. To some, this was elegant communication. To others, it was digital assimilation, because when code begins to echo through systems it never touched, the system is no longer ours. And then something stopped. Space is filled with background radiation, the hiss of the cosmos, the remnants of the Big Bang. But for 18 minutes, radio telescopes in Chile, South Africa, and Australia recorded the total disappearance of that cosmic background. No static, no flicker, nothing. The universe had gone silent. After frantic recalibrations, the signal returned, but it wasn't the same. It was phase-shifted, warped in tone and shape, like a recording paused and resumed with a slightly different pitch. This change mirrored the timing and waveform of Voyager 2's last known signal. A hypothesis emerged among scientists. What if the silence wasn't a malfunction? What if it was a reset? What if the universe hadn't gone silent at all, but had been overwritten, just long enough to insert something new? We sent Voyager 2 into the cosmos as a gesture of hope, a bottle adrift in the cosmic ocean, sealed with a dream that maybe, somewhere, someone would find it. But what if it wasn't found? What if it was expected? What if our message wasn't a whisper into the void, but an invitation, answered not by chance, but by design? Because everything points not to coincidence, but to response. Something out there didn't just notice us, it waited. 47 years, watching, learning, and now it's using our own creations, our machines, our networks, to speak back. The question isn't whether they're listening, it's whether they ever stopped. Maybe Voyager 2 didn't discover something alien. Maybe it activated something ancient, something that always knew we'd come looking, something that always planned to answer. And now that it has, we no longer control the conversation. So the only question that remains is this: what did we awaken? And can we survive the reply?